Hello, welcome back to our channel. I'm your girl Christina, your friendly Canadian immigrant, telling you more about Canadian immigration. Now on Tuesday we posted a question and answer video that was all about the postgraduate work permit. Can I work? When do I get it? What if I don't get a job? Do I have to go home? So check out that video if any of those questions are bubbling in your mind, because they certainly were bubbling in mine. Now I'm going to go through the actual postgraduate work permit application, and I actually went and dug up my study permit and my postgraduate work permits. Well, why do you have two postgraduate work permits, Christina? There's actually three. That's because I had to extend my graduate work permit. So this probably is a nice or helpful extension to the question and answer video, because it's not the end of the world if you get to the end of your work permit and you're not a permanent resident yet. The world continues to turn, and I didn't have to go home. Yay! So let us go through the actual postgraduate work permit application. What is required, how do you apply, and how long do you have to wait in order to get it? Then we're gonna go into how do I get a second one? How comes I have two work permits? What did I do to get two? So stay with me. Ask your questions in the comment section below. If anything was unclear, I will redo it or re-go through it. But right now we're gonna focus on getting yourself a postgraduate work permit, how to get it and how to extend it if you need to. See you on the inside. All right, and here we are on the CIC website, and if you're applying for postgraduate work permits, okay, you are now a veteran when it comes to signing into the CIC website. So we're just gonna sign in, and we're gonna be taken to of course the portal where you can start to submit applications and fill out application forms. So we're gonna go out to the bottom here that says start an application and say apply to come to Canada. Now, if you had already filled out a questionnaire to get to this point, you put your questionnaire here, but we're just going to go through the motions as if we didn't fill out a questionnaire. This is the first place we're coming, and this is what we got to do. So click on of course, you're applying for a work permit. We're going to go and click on that, and it's going to take you through a series of questions to help you to determine what kind of a permit is suitable for you, right? So what do you want to do in Canada? You want to work. And how long do you want to work? You want to work temporarily for more than 6 months, okay? You're not going to put permanently because you can't work permanently because you're not a permanent resident yet. This, if you put permanently, would probably take you to the express entry option, which is not what we're going to do right now. So you want to work there temporarily for more than 6 months. Where do you come from? We're going to say Jamaica. Nope. This one here. Sorry. You're not going to say that you live in Jamaica because right now you are a student in Canada. If you are currently in Canada, you should select Canada. If you're a student in Canada right now, you're going to say that you currently reside in Canada. Do you have any family? If you do, you say yes. If you don't, you say no. And then you're just going to select a birth date. Okay. All right. So next, are you a lawful resident of the United States? If you are, say yes. We already said that we are from Jamaica, so we don't. What is your current immigration status? So right now you are a student. If you're trying to apply for a postgraduate work permit, you're definitely a student of the sort. If you are not, then your case is specific and you can check to see what status suits you best. Right now you are a student. Do you plan to work on campus? Right now we're trying to work after school is over, so we're not trying to talk about working on campus. Are you a full-time student in a participating post-secondary school and want to work off campus for 20 weeks? That is not the situation that we are in right now. School done. School is finished and we are trying to work. So are you recently graduated from a post-secondary school and want to work full-time? Yes, that's what we want to do. Is your work an essential part of your studies? Now, for people who have a co-op or internship program, of course, you're going to go ahead and click yes. But for the purpose of this exercise and example, we're not going to say yes. We're going to say no. Okay. Find out if you're eligible to apply. Have you been told by Immigration and Refugee Canada that you are approved for permanent residence, right? Which we aren't. Otherwise, we are not trying to apply for a postgraduate work permit. Have you submitted an application? We're going to say no. And do you have a job offer? We're going to say no. Next. Marital status, you put whatever you are. And the province, for the purpose of the example, Ontario. So now here are your results. You're eligible for either a temporary resident visa. We're trying to get a postgraduate work permit, right? So we're going to continue with that option, and then they're going to take you through a series of a couple more questions just to help you determine what's best for you. Okay, so what do you have from the school to accompany your application? Now, this here I found to be a little bit misleading because it's saying final transcript this or this, right? But if you check out the instruction guide and the checklist for the postgraduate work permit, it says that you need a final transcript and a letter from the institution or formal notice of graduation. Okay, so a final transcript, you know what that is. A letter from an institution would be a letter saying that you have completed your studies, and a formal notice of graduation would be your final school leaving certificate or diploma, right? So we are going to say in our example here that we have a letter from our school. Now, we just saw that we need both, but we're going to go ahead and say we have a letter from our institution, right? Because we just read that we need both. Next, have you done a medical? Now, unless you're trying to work in a certain field, you don't need a medical. Here are the jobs that you do require to do. You may be required to do a medical exam. And for the purpose of this example, we're going to say no, we don't. If you lived in a designated country or territory, if you lived in one, I think you would know. But if you don't know if your country is, check it out on that list of countries and territories. For this example, we're going to say no. Next, do you want to work in any of these fields? So this is more in the health and medical related fields. If you are trying to work as a domestic worker or a caregiver, for the purpose of this example, we're going to say no, but if this applies to you, you should say yes. We're going to go next. Are you trying to submit an application from a family member? No. Do you want to give somebody access to your application? If you want to, you can say yes for this example. No. There are fees associated. Yes, I'll be paying my fees. Yes, I have a camera. And yes, I'll be paying my fees online. Thank you very much for asking. Okay, just go through and double check your information. Make sure that everything is correct. You don't want to do anything that will be considered misinformation. And go ahead and read through that and continue. Now it's going to take you to this area where it's basically your document checklist, right? And unlike the student permits or the study permits, you're not going to need as many things here like proof of funds, proof of this, proof of that, as you do with the student visa application or student permit application. You're really just filling out the form to say that you want to remain in Canada as a worker. You need your completion of status letter, and here I would actually suggest you attach that status letter and your transcript because you need both. Your passport is required to identify whom you are, and a digital photo. Down here now, there is an additional optional documents. It is an application for a temporary resident visa made outside of Canada. But we know that you are in Canada because you are a student in Canada trying to work in Canada. And I don't believe that this form here applies, right? This is an optional document if you are outside of Canada, or you probably left the country and you're trying to reinstate your status here as a worker. And anything that you want to add additionally, like an explanation letter, I did attach an explanation letter to my postgraduate work permits application. And if you don't happen to attach your transcript here, then combine it with your explanation letter here and attach it to client information. Okay, anything extra, letter of explanation, boom. Okay, and the fees for a postgraduate work permit is $255. So that's something you definitely want to budget for as you think about ending school. 255 Canadian dollars, and I don't see where anything apart from the photo where you will be requiring to spend any additional money. Now, this here will just grant you a work permit. It is likely that your student visa will expire and you cannot no longer leave the country, so you will need to apply for a visa, temporary resident visa from within Canada. So this form here does not count. And like we said in the student visa application thing, these application forms, you can't click them and open them. Nothing will happen. Dum dum dum. Right click, save link as, and save it in a folder on your computer, and then you'll be able to access it. So I have already saved it, and I'm going to go here to the actual application form, and 2, the document checklist. Now I find the application form to be very self-explanatory, and where you have doubts, reference your instruction guide. I will attach the link in the description below. I've also downloaded the document checklist for the postgraduate work permit. Very simple, 1-page checklist. Praise God. This is probably one of the easier applications that you will do throughout your application life in Canada. It's really just an application form. Okay, I get it. If you're using a representative, do you need to? I don't think you do, but if you don't feel comfortable doing it on your own, then hire somebody to do it. Photocopies of your passport pages, photocopies of your travel or identification document if you did not use a passport. So this is for people without a passport. And your current immigration document. And it says photocopies if you are, of course, applying on paper. And this is something you can also upload in the client information section on the website, because there is no slot here requesting for you to attach that status. And then down here, you need a final transcript, check mark, and a letter from your institution and proof of payment, which if you do online, then you'll be quite fine with just playing online. So this is a helpful checklist. So this is actually a pretty simple application, and the processing time will vary. Boom. Processing time online is 91 days. That's a lot of days. That's a lot of days. But the good thing is that if you have submitted your application, you are eligible to work. You are able to work. You don't have to wait for those 91 days to pass before you can work. You can work, and once you get this work permit in the mail, you just update your employer. So that is that for the actual postgraduate work permit application walkthrough. And of course, I mentioned at the beginning that I had 2 postgraduate work permits. How did I get 2? I worked for a year, got invited to apply 2 months before my work permit was going to expire. 2 months is not enough time for a PR application to be processed. But I had put in my permanent residence application before this expired, and as such, I was able to submit an application to extend it while my permanent residence application was being processed. Is that confusing? I hope not. Here is what makes you eligible for bridging a work permit. 1, you applied for permanent residence and your work permit expires in 4 months or less. You have valid status, right? So your status is not expired and you are currently in Canada. And you can only qualify if you have applied for express entry or for permanent residency through one of these programs. And that is how I got an extension on my work permit. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the time you're taking to watch this video. Please remember to subscribe, give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Remember to ask your questions in the comments section below for the next question and answer Tuesday. Look out for the answers to your questions. See you. in the next video.